A warm welcome to all my dear children. This is Dorothy ma'am, and in this class, we are going to continue with the second part of the lesson 2.3 Mark Twain. I hope all of you have revised the first part and done with the assignment. In the previous class, we have seen the three interesting, short, amusing stories from Mark Twain's life, and in this class, we shall look at the other two. So let's proceed further with the fourth and fifth anecdotes. Fourth anecdote. One day, during his tenure as the editor of a small Missouri paper, Mark Twain received a letter from a reader who had found a spider in his paper. He wondered whether his portended good or bad luck. Finding a spider in your paper, Twain replied, is neither good luck nor bad. The spider was merely looking over our paper to see which merchant was not advertising, so that he could go to that store, spin his web across the door, and lead a life of undisturbed peace ever afterward. Fifth anecdote. Mark Twain's birth in November 1835 was heralded by the return of Halley's comet. Twain, who often remarked upon his curiosity, came to think of himself and the comet as unaccountable freaks, cosmically linked, having come in together. He declared they would go out together. In fact, Twain was proven right. On the night of his death in April 1910, Halley's comet once again blazed through the sky. The chapter also includes a plan for the improvement of English spelling, which was written by Mark Twain. And in this plan, he speaks about the simplification of spellings by removing a few letters that have similar sounds. As he proceeds with the plan, he slowly starts omitting a few letters of a word and substitutes them with other letters that sound similar. Towards the end, it becomes nearly impossible to read what has been written. Thus, with the use of pun, he brings out the irreparable damage that simplification of spellings will do the English language. Now, one of his plan for the improvement of English spelling. For the year 1, that useless letter C would be dropped to be replaced either by K or S, and likewise X would no longer be part of the alphabet. The only case in which C would be retained would be the CH. At the end, there is also a list of quotes by Mark Twain, which once again bring out his charming expertise in wordplay and the same time also share his enriching wisdom and knowledge about various things in life. So, some of the quotations of Mark Twain. April Fool's Day, that is 1st April. This is the day upon which we are reminded of what we are on the other 364 days. A man cannot be comfortable without his own approval. Thunder is good, thunder is impressive, but it is lightning that does the work. When I was younger, I could remember anything, whether it happened or not. It's no wonder that truth is stranger than fiction. Fiction has to make sense. If you tell the truth, you don't have to remember anything. Now, I must have a prodigious quantity of mind. It takes me as much as we sometimes to make it up. It is better to keep your mouth closed and let people think you are a fool than to open it and remove all doubts. I am an old man and have known a great many troubles, but most of them never happened. So, girls, hope all of you have understood the lesson. Please read the lesson carefully and do the assignment which was given to you. Meanings: fiction, written works about imaginary people and events. Flatter, to shower praises to make someone feel important. Herald, to be a sign of something positive. Humorous, funny and amusing. Prodigious, immense, great. Assignment: answer the following questions. Was Twain particular about how he dressed when he was visiting friends? Why did Henry Irving ask Mark Twain if he had the story before? Which episode shows that Mark Twain did not believe in superstitions? Thank you.